We're kicking off today with WWE delivering a blockbuster match this week on Raw as two of the most popular stars in the company met in the King of the Ring semifinals as Cody Rhodes battled Jey Uso in a high-octane match packed with drama, reversals, and near falls. It was a thrilling encounter that saw Uso nail various super kicks and back-to-back spears, yet he was still unable to get the win. Rhodes nailed a giant Cody cutter from the top rope before nailing a crossroads as he punched his ticket to Saudi Arabia. Rhodes will now meet another close friend in his former Legacy stablemate Randy Orton at Night of Champions, where the winner will earn a world title shot at SummerSlam. Rhodes' win disappointed Uso, though they didn't let it ruin their friendship. After the match, the two men acknowledged each other, proving they're still on good terms. When it comes to WWE's booking for major pay-per-views, emotion is everything. Cody versus Randy Orton has that emotional depth, that real story history, which is simply missing from a potential Jey Uso versus Orton clash. Cody's connection to Randy goes back over a decade, from their Legacy days to now standing across the ring as fully realized stars with unfinished business. On the flip side, Jey Uso feels like he's moving away from that main event singles run, and a brand switch might be in his best interest right now due to what's unfolding on Smackdown. Jacob Fatu has turned on Solo Sikoa, which led to Jimmy Uso opting to back him up in an unexpected alliance. It appears that another bloodline civil war is upon us, and Jey might get involved. Seeing him reunite with his twin brother would be a huge deal, especially since Jimmy and the Samoan Werewolf might end up outnumbered if the Tonga brothers or Hikuleo make their presence known. The stage is set for a massive family conflict, and throwing Jey into the mix will only increase the star power. What do you think? Should Jey join the new war brewing within the bloodline, or carve his path elsewhere? Let us know in the comments below. Uso and Rhodes threw everything they had at each other in this match, including Rhodes busting out a move that few people knew he had in his arsenal, the Kimura Lock. This submission move is typically associated with Brock Lesnar, with the Beast Incarnate picking up various wins with the move. Rhodes took a page out of his playbook this week by applying it to Uso, and while it didn't get him the win, it did have everyone talking. Lesnar was last seen feuding against Rhodes, so seeing the American Nightmare use the move was interesting. Now fans want to know if it was a one-off moment or a subtle nod to something bigger down the line. The future of WWE's Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia has been uncertain, but a major global development may now change everything. On June 21st, US President Donald Trump announced on X that Israel and Iran have agreed to end their conflict, which has been causing tension in the Middle East and putting WWE's travel plans at risk. Trump called it the 12-day war and praised both countries for stopping before things got worse. According to PWInsider.com, the reality is that the majority of WWE's crew has already been on the ground in Saudi Arabia for over a week. Setup for Night of Champions has been underway since at least the week of June 9, with additional production staff arriving steadily since then. That said, 5 WWE staffers are currently stuck at Doha Airport in Qatar. These staffers were awaiting a connecting flight to Saudi Arabia when airspace closures disrupted travel. With civilian flights expected to resume soon, there's renewed optimism that WWE can proceed with Night of Champions as scheduled. The company hasn't released an official statement yet, but insiders confirmed that setup at the venue is actively progressing. Brian Alvarez of F4WOnline.com noted that WWE had a narrow window to make a final decision on the event, stating, "They have not canceled the show. As of this exact moment, everyone who is going is set to fly out on Wednesday. I was told it would not be a breach of contract if WWE pulls out of this show in Saudi Arabia." Despite the positive news, PW Insider has reported that a large portion of the WWE roster remains hesitant about traveling to Night of Champions amid these tensions. Many talent are reportedly uneasy about the situation and are still waiting for clarity from management as developments continue to unfold. Despite the reported ceasefire, uncertainty behind the scenes persists, with much of the roster still seeking answers before fully committing to the event. Should WWE go ahead with Night of Champions now that the situation is stabilizing, or is the risk too high? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, LA Knight suffered a brutal beatdown at the hands of Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed last week on Smackdown as part of his ongoing issues with Seth Rollins' group, and WWE is now given an official update on his condition. Knight was destroyed by 2 spears and a trio of bone-crushing tsunamis that left Knight unable to stand. On Raw this week, Michael Cole confirmed that Knight sustained a separated rib cartilage and a bruised sternum. Of course, this injury update is part of their ongoing storyline, although WWE pushed the idea that Knight's status remains uncertain for the following weeks. Where does this leave LA Knight now? Is this a major turning point or a serious setback in his momentum? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know your opinion regarding his booking. Raw kicked off with a passionate promo from Seth Rollins this week. He pointed out that the fans chant for CM Punk at one point, Roman Reigns at the other, and then happily sing his song when he walks to the ring. Rollins believes that everything the WWE Universe loves is down to him, claiming Reigns wouldn't be where he is without him. He also thinks Punk's return occurred to play on their real-life issues, while Rollins even stated that he put Cody Rhodes on the map. Rollins displayed all of his trademark arrogance, which fans have come to expect from this version of his character. He also took shots at John Cena and Gunther, making it clear he is the endgame. Rollins wasn't done there either, as he used LA Knight as an example of what happens to people who get in his way. While it wasn't a particularly revolutionary promo, his delivery was confident, and he covered a lot of ground. WWE shifted gears quickly to some in-ring action as Bron Breakker battled Penta in a match that highlighted their chemistry. It was hard-hitting and fast-paced, with neither man leaving anything in the ring. Penta looked to get the win with the Mexican Destroyer, only to be chopped in half by an insane mid-air spear, as Rollins then warned the masked man to stay out of his business. The fans loved the match, even though it wasn't the cleanest, although Penta did appear to hurt his leg after a tope con hilo. Well, he finished the match, Penta limped afterwards, which is a cause for concern. Penta's night wasn't done there, though, as Chad Gable mocked him for the loss, which led to the former AEW star snatching Gable's arm as a heated scuffle began until officials pulled them apart. While that drama was exciting, fans were more interested in the background because they saw Ludwig Kaiser make his first appearance since April in a brief moment. He hasn't been there since the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal during WrestleMania 41 weekend and has been enjoying a vacation in Italy lately. However, it appears that vacation time is over and the former Imperium star is returning. Should WWE finally give Ludwig Kaiser the singles push many fans have been calling for? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Dominik Mysterio's Intercontinental Championship match against AJ Styles has officially been pulled from WWE Night of Champions. The match was set to take place this Saturday in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, an event already surrounded by uncertainty due to the tense situation in the Middle East. During Raw, General Manager Adam Pearce informed Styles in a backstage segment that Dominik had sustained an injury and would be unable to compete. Styles wasn't buying it, accusing Mysterio of ducking the challenge. However, Pearce insisted the injury was legitimate and that there was nothing he could do. The announcement left many fans confused, especially since Dominik hadn't wrestled on Raw in the past week, nor appeared at any recent house shows where an injury might have occurred. Later in the show, Dominik briefly addressed the situation during an interview with Kathy Kelly, claiming he suffered a rib injury. However, the crowd's loud boos cut his promo short and he stormed off in frustration, leaving some to wonder if he's telling the full truth. Pearce later reassured Styles that his opportunity isn't gone for good. Once Dominik is cleared, Styles will receive the next Intercontinental Championship match. In a separate segment, Dominik appeared alongside the Judgment Day. Finn Balor told him to focus on recovery so he could deal with Styles down the line. Dom also mentioned missing Liv Morgan, who is currently sidelined with a real shoulder injury, while Balor continued teasing a possible connection between Mysterio and Roxanne Perez. Dominik's last match was in the King of the Ring tournament earlier this month, where he lost a four-way bout. Prior to that, he defended the Intercontinental title against AAA's Octagon Jr. at Money in the Bank. There have been many early whispers suggesting that due to the escalating tensions in the Middle East, AJ Styles may have opted not to travel to Riyadh for Night of Champions. However, there is no official confirmation on these initial reports, and WWE has not issued any statement regarding his status. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Now, clearly, from a logical standpoint, WWE still has Saturday night's main event and the major SummerSlam PLE lined up after Night of Champions, so it's entirely possible that Triple H's creative team is saving the Intercontinental title bout for one of those upcoming shows. Night of Champions already features high-stakes matches, including the King and Queen of the Ring finals and the headline clash between CM Punk and John Cena for the Undisputed Championship. Given the already loaded card, WWE may have opted to delay the Intercontinental title match. This would explain why Adam Pearce recently announced an injury to Dominik Mysterio, likely a storyline move to justify the match being pulled from the Saudi event. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you make of the situation. Now, Goldberg let the world know who he is last week on Raw, and this week, the WWE Hall of Famer appeared via a pre-taped interview with Michael Cole to address Gunther. He clarified that the disrespect he received at Bad Blood last October inspired this return and is why the ring general is next. Goldberg admitted that he was embarrassed by what happened that night, and now he's ready to beat the shit out of Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Meanwhile, he also shockingly announced that this is his retirement match. Of course, that raises many questions because the World Heavyweight title is on the line, yet when asked about possibly walking out with the gold, he simply said it's an interesting situation. It was a brief segment that brought the usual intensity that Goldberg is known for. He maintained a level of mystique while explaining perfectly why the match was happening that everyone could understand. It was all about respect. That message didn't get through to Gunther though, as the Ring General ripped into his upcoming opponent later in the night during a promo segment. Gunther labeled Goldberg a one-trick pony, stating he can't hang with today's talent. Gunther ended his segment with an apology to Goldberg and his family for what he intends to do during his retirement match, proving that the champion has no fear of his legendary opponent. This took things to a personal level, adding some real heat to this feud already. WWE revealed 2 days ago that this will be Goldberg's retirement match. However, Triple H isn't scared of pulling out major surprises. That's why it shouldn't shock people if the former WCW star sticks around beyond this match. It's been previously reported that WWE's creative team considered him pulling off a surprise win before dropping the title back to Gunther at SummerSlam in a blockbuster career versus title showdown. That idea would also have seen Seth Rollins cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase just to add to the drama. Whether WWE aims to pull off a major surprise or keep things simple with the retirement angle remains to be seen. What is clear is that WWE is going to go all out to make this feel like a significant storyline that fans need to invest in. Do you want to see Goldberg have one last run with the gold, or should Gunther decisively end the legend's story for good? And what do you think about Rollins possibly walking out of SummerSlam as champion? Sound off in the comments and let us know where you stand. According to a report from PWInsiderElite.com, Goldberg will appear on every Raw before that event except for next week's episode in Pittsburgh, where he's not scheduled to be present. Someone who has been present every week, albeit in backstage segments, is Karrion Kross, and his rivalry with Sami Zayn was taken to another level this week. The Harbinger of Doom antagonized Zayn backstage after his loss in the King of the Ring tournament last week on Smackdown to try and add to his woes. Zayn was in no mood to listen to Kross though, and immediately silenced him with a hard punch to the mouth while he reminded Kross of their upcoming match. However, Kross laughed as Scarlett said, "Got him." The two men have been at loggerheads for weeks now in backstage segments, with Kross constantly looking to push Zayn's buttons with his twisted mind games. Their issues will be able to spill out of the ring under the brightest lights though, as the two men will compete against each other at Night of Champions in what'll be Kross's first premium live event match since WrestleMania 40. Kross has wrestled exclusively on WWE's main event since April, which has frustrated many fans. That means there will be even more pressure on him to deliver in Saudi Arabia and prove what he can offer inside the ring. Next up, some breaking news is WWE is reportedly exploring the idea of hosting 2 WrestleManias each year, and Saudi Arabia could play a big role in making that happen. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, discussions have taken place within WWE about bringing WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia in the future. While nothing's been officially confirmed yet, Meltzer indicated that the Kingdom may not only host a WrestleMania-style event, but could eventually land a full-fledged WrestleMania. If that happens, WWE would likely run 2 major WrestleMania-branded shows annually, one in the US and the other in Saudi Arabia. And considering the current format of WrestleMania being a 2-night event, this could mean as many as 4 WrestleMania-branded nights per year. The idea of a second WrestleMania gained traction after it was announced that the Royal Rumble 2026 will be held in Riyadh. This marks the first time the Rumble will be hosted outside North America, a historic move that has already stirred strong reactions online. Many fans voiced concerns about WWE's growing reliance on international locations for its major events, especially when it involves controversial regions. Saudi Arabia has previously hosted large-scale WWE events like the Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018, though that show wasn't officially counted as part of the traditional Royal Rumble legacy. However, the 2026 Royal Rumble will be recognized as an official entry in the event's history, and its success could open the door to even bigger plans, including the possibility of hosting a future WrestleMania. While fans remain split on whether 2 WrestleManias per year is a good idea, it's clear WWE is following the money. For some, more marquee events means more excitement and more opportunities for stars to shine. For others, doubling up might dilute the uniqueness of what has long been seen as the biggest night in sports entertainment. Whether fans love it or loathe it, WWE seems to be seriously considering this major change, and Saudi Arabia could be the key to making it happen. What do you think about this idea? Sound off in the comments below. Elsewhere on Raw, 2 of the 4 Horsewomen added another chapter to their iconic rivalry this week as Bayley challenged Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship in a colossal showdown. It was a physical, hard-hitting match, which makes sense given that Lynch attacked Bayley backstage at WrestleMania 41, denying her the chance to compete on the grandest stage of them all. Lynch targeted Bayley's right arm to stop her from having any striking ability, although Bayley proved her left arm was just as effective throughout the match. The action ultimately spilled outside the ring, where Lynch looked to bury Bayley under a pile of chairs to get a cheap win. That's when Lyra Valkyria burst onto the scene to help Bayley, only for her emotions to get the best of her. Bayley looked to hit an elbow drop when Valkyria attacked Lynch, with her own issues proving to be more important. While that contributed to her feud with Lynch, it did lead to a disqualification, so Lynch retained her title. This allowed Lynch to escape and celebrate her win by gloating in the faces of her two major rivals while they argued inside the ring. It was a big win for Lynch, and smart booking by WWE, as it'll continue this storyline and add even more tension. Interestingly, Michael Cole revealed that Bayley competed in the ring gear she was supposed to wear at WrestleMania 41, proving she was unwilling to waste her attire. The Judgment Day was handed a significant blow last week, as it was confirmed that Liv Morgan will be out of action for several months after suffering a devastating shoulder injury that will require surgery. That opened up an opportunity for Finn Balor to take control, which he attempted to do in a backstage segment where he tried to rally everyone together ahead of Roxanne Perez's Queen of the Ring semifinal match against Jade Cargill. When it came to that match, the former AEW star boasted a serious size and strength advantage over her opponent, although that didn't stop Perez from delivering a performance full of fight and heart as she tried to progress to the finals. Perez used her intelligence and targeted Cargill's leg in a bid to chop her down, grounding the powerhouse for as long as possible. Unfortunately for Perez, she couldn't keep that up forever, as Cargill showcased her dominance by connecting with a powerbomb and then Jaded to get the win. It was an impressive match that allowed both women to look good, with Perez again wowing fans with her in-ring talent. Meanwhile, Cargill seemed like an unstoppable force, as she is now set to face Asuka at Night of Champions to determine the new Queen of the Ring. WWE wasted little time building the tension for that match though, as Asuka made her presence known by staring down her opponent. Neither woman said a word, but the tension was palpable as their star power shone brightly. It was a busy night for the Empress of Tomorrow, as she was interrupted by Io Sky during a backstage interview earlier in the show. Their history as Damage Control stablemates was highlighted, reminding fans of their past. The situation didn't stay pleasant for long though. Asuka made it clear that that time is over and the past means nothing, while Io made it clear she wants to face her former ally. WWE planted some seeds for this match to happen, although Cargill will do everything in her power to stop that. So who do you think should walk out of Riyadh as Queen of the Ring and eventually claim championship gold at SummerSlam? Let us know your pick in the comments. While the focus of every WWE show is what happens inside the ring, the voices that tell the stories on commentary are just as important, and one has been missing for 3 weeks now. Pat McAfee was once again absent from Raw, with Corey Graves stepping in to work alongside Michael Cole. While Graves has done a great job stepping back into that role, no explanation about where McAfee is or when he'll return has been offered. Sheamus and Rusev shared a backstage moment on Raw, sparking interest due to their shared history as former members of the League of Nations. With that kind of past, would you want to see them face off in a hard-hitting, no-nonsense match? Let us know what you think. We're ending today with two of Raw's powerhouse female stars who have been at odds recently after Raquel Rodriguez cost Rhea Ripley her spot in the Queen of the Ring tournament. While Ripley evened the score the week after, their issues have not been solved. Rodriguez called out Mommy this week, although there was little time to chat, and they instantly got into a massive brawl at ringside. They caused destruction as Ripley got the best of it and was ready to plant her rival through a table until Roxanne Perez showed up. The Prodigy attacked Ripley, and the numbers game proved too much as Rodriguez sent Ripley crashing through a table herself with a Tejana bomb. With tension at an all-time high between them, Adam Pearce is wasting no time in letting them settle their issues. He revealed that the two women will collide in a street fight at Night of Champions this weekend. The segment itself proved to be effective, although familiar. It allowed both women to look dominant with their brawl, while Perez's continued efforts to earn a spot in the Judgment Day haven't gone unnoticed, as she's proving her worth. Does it feel too obvious that Mommy will win the match due to her star power? Sound off in the comments below.